So I am trying to print something and sign my daughter's data confirmation forms for her school, so she could fully be registered, and write her counselor an email regarding her wanting to be in online classes. Plus, I want to pay for her yearbook and her pictures. And there are Egyptian American Muslim women terrorists screaming in my head, trying to hurt me so I sound violent. So the way they work is that first they know like all the phases of like shock and hurt, and then it hurt turns into when you can no longer cry over your like over being in danger. You fight back naturally. That's how your body responds. And so they know your psyche responds that way. So they attack and they attack and they attack and they attack you until they get you back in this place where you're in a fight mode to make you sound violent. There are Egyptian American Muslim women terrorists talking in my head, constantly attacking me because they're pretending that there's something to investigate when there's not. These are psychopaths using a mind control, mind reading, telepathy weapon, and all they do all day long is try to make it look like there's something to investigate when there's not, while they try to murder me and find a way to get away with it. Apparently, when I die, the weapon goes through a system that basically looks for cues, and it spits out like how I died. Did I die because of mental illness or bodily dysfunction, or and they dehydrated me so I look gross all day. Like, they're gross. The psychopaths can do this to you. I'm literally dying, and they're like, "You look disgusting. You look disgusting." And anyways, so all day they're looking for ways to manipulate me into doing drugs and sleeping around so that I catch AIDS and that I'm doing drugs, and they can say that I was rebellious and abandoning my responsibilities as a parent, and that there's something to investigate here. And apparently they want me to die before my daughter turns 18 so that they can open up another investigation or tie up records, because there are other records that they're after. Because if it was just about me, then it would be like, well, there's nothing to investigate here, and if it is an investigation for them to get behind a weapon. Why don't they go investigate someone who's actually a criminal, who's actually has a criminal history? So being that there's nothing to investigate here, they're constantly trying to make it look like that while they attempt to drug me and manipulate me. Of course, at this point, there's no way in freaking hell I'll be sleeping with anybody. I would never do drugs, never have. I don't drink and I don't smoke. And the psycho terrorists talking in my head, this is like, it's ongoing. It's ongoing. There are records that show that there are murderers, and the evidence of all the murders they've committed, and the people that they defamed and framed and murdered, and all the money that they've laundered, and they want to destroy all those records. And apparently, anybody who's been they're playing with my head, so I can't communicate this. That's been called a suspect to a crime that they're investigating, okay, has entitlements to the record. And the only way for the records to be destroyed is basically there has all the suspects, or people that were involved in the investigation, being investigated, die. And if they die, then in which case, and there's no suspicious activity on the terrorists talking in my head's behalf, like it doesn't look like they were trafficking me in any way, then the records get destroyed, and these terrorists still have access to the weapon that they're using to talk inside my head. So it seems to me as though they're setting things up to try to open up another investigation while destroying other records, while trying to tie up records, manipulate the records to bypass securities. And there's several of them talking in my head with permissions to use this weapon. So they're all hacked. There's like 7 or 8 of them that have hacked into my head at the same time, with that basically that are gonna feed the system their records to say they all heard what I hear, but they want to make it sound like their voice is coming from outside. So all day long, I live stream to make it clear that I can't capture any of their voices, to make it clear that every voice that I hear in my head is a part of their terrorist organization, so I can catch all of them and sentence them all to death. Like, they're playing major games with this weapon that they're using to talk into my head. These are psychopaths. The women are psycho. Okay, because the men can't have kids. Who's raising these terrorists? Who's burying their children and raising them to have more terrorists, dude? It's the women. The women are fucking stupid psycho trash. I want them sentenced to death. They're talking in my head. They're Egyptian American Muslim women terrorists. They're murdering kids, women, men, serial killing. They're committing genocide in the African American community. The men they're laughing in my head, trying to laugh it off. Because there's a weapon, and if it reads that if he tries to sound, like if he starts to sound, but he's being passive aggressive nonetheless. So if he were, though, to threaten me in my head and say, like, you fucking if you keep explaining, I'm going to do this and that to you, it will flag the records. So he's trying to bypass these weapon securities by, like, giving hints of, like, what he'll do to me by being passive aggressive. He's threatening me in my life. They're Egyptian American Muslim women. This is all, regardless, he's murdering me. So it's not like I can be dead. It's not like you can be dead. If deader was a word, this is what it would be. He wants to say you're deader. How could you be deader? He's murdering me. There's psycho Egyptian American Muslim women terrorists talking in my head. They need to be sentenced to death. Do you hear me? All because I'm taking my daughter and it's obvious I'm innocent. And all day they're stretching the skin of my forehead like, let's just make her fucking ugly. Let's just make her fucking ugly. Like, well, if you can make me ugly, why don't you just murder me? Why? This is all a crime. These are injuries. Making my hair fall out. It's 98% of my hair they made fall out. Why don't they just murder me? Why are they talking in my head? Who are they trying to frame for the talking? And that's exactly why I say they're trying to open up another investigation on top of the fact. I want them sentenced to death. Do you hear me? They're Egyptian American Muslim women terrorists talking in my head. They need to be sentenced to death. They're serial killers. Do you hear me? Please protect. Please, I need your help. I need them exposed and sentenced to death.